You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube right now. Come join the party at Mr. Mo Kelly on YouTube, and we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. I often talk about the evolution of our economy and how, although we may have these fights about what minimum wage should it be $17 an hour, $20 an hour? Should fast food workers get $20 an hour? And I try to tell folks, I think the fight for certain jobs and certain wages for certain jobs, more times than not, short-sighted. If only because you're fighting for jobs which aren't going to be there in 5-6 years. I remember I said that back in 2018 when people were fighting for $15 an hour. Remember that? $15 an hour in California. Then all of a sudden, it wasn't enough, like I predicted. And then fast food workers wanted to have $20 an hour. And I said, okay, well, good luck with that because those jobs are not going to be here in 5 years. We're coming up on 5 years. And I'm coming up on the point where I'm pretty sure I'm right. Those jobs are going away. Let me give you another example. I want to tell you about a Santa Clarita company. As part of their retail costs, which they want to curtail, they're using robots. This Santa Clarita company, Happy Returns, is working, as they say, to save retailers money by offering free returns in a high-tech way, using robots. When consumers have a return with one of their participating retailers, which is like Gap, Windsor, Allbirds, and Revolve, when consumers have a return with one of them, they can take it to one of the 9,000 drop-off points nationwide inside places like Staples, UPS, and Ulta. Shoppers then get an immediate credit, and the return makes its way to the Happy Returns warehouse, where they process most returns the same day they get it. Thanks to what? Say it with me. Robots. Now, there are still humans who are part of the process, but the robots add a level of speed and efficiency that human beings cannot. The robots can work 24 hours a day, like we've talked about. Humans cannot. Robots don't need vacations. Humans do need vacations. In this example, employees still take the returns off the trucks and scan them into the system, but robots do the rest. Everything. Directed by QR codes. Quote, when things get hard, we need to get better. The robots are a significant step forward in productivity and efficiency. As we enter a more uncertain climate, merchants will need to look at every crevice to find opportunities to optimize, close quote. Put another way, they're going to have to find every opportunity to reduce costs. And there's no cost that they're always looking at other than reducing the amount of employees. The sooner that they can get rid of me, they will. The sooner that radio or audio becomes AI, they will get rid of me. I promise you. Why? Why would you pay me if there's some sort of technology which can do it for quote unquote free? Quote unquote. There's probably a beginning cost, a purchasing cost. Maybe there's a maintenance cost, but it's not as much as paying me. We've talked about on this show how there are already AI news reports in print and also audio. And Mark hates it, but he knows it's true.
People don't want it. They want to connect with other human beings. They don't want AI. It's being forced on us by people who just stand to profit from it. And I will fight this fight until my dying breath.
Two competing ideas. You're not wrong. People, you and me, we don't want it. But businesses want lower costs. Businesses are more concerned with their profit margins than our individual likes, dislikes. Like, for example, I don't want to call, let's say, a credit card company or any company and do the automated thing. Okay. I usually when I'm calling, I need to talk to someone because my problem is very specific. And as soon as that computer voice comes on, I say, operator, representative.
Yeah, we both do the same
person.
thing. We find ourselves shouting into the phone, representative.
Number one, if you're here for XY, the representative, real person.
Yeah. Yeah, people don't want that. They don't want to talk to an AI or a computer or anything of the sort. Whether it's customer service or entertainment or radio, they need to connect with other human beings, and they're gonna make their choices with what they decide to patronize and purchase. And employers are always going to go toward whatever profits the most, but they can be forced in certain directions by what consumers are willing to pay for and tolerate.
But think about what you're saying, Mark. Even though we want it, and even though you can just about put out any survey out there and it will confirm that we want an actual person to deal with, we get more automation. That tells you it is more important to decrease their expenses than it is to increase their likability with customers.
Well, this is the eternal push and pull in any capitalist system. And I'm not anti-capitalist, but it's just the natural. It's like the old Warner Brothers cartoon with the sheepdog and the coyote who fight all day, then they clock out and they come back and start it the next day. You're always going to have that push and pull.
But just think about our particular industry. What Stefan does right now, it would take 4 people 25 years ago.
Well, that makes perfect sense because Stefan can eat the amount of pizza that 4 men can eat.
But think about it. If you haven't worked in radio, you don't know the digital revolution just transformed radio. The idea of being able to record something in real time and edit it in real time and play it back. I say, Stefan, get this audio and he can find it and play it. You couldn't do that back in the day of reel to reel. You just wouldn't be able to do it. You would need a person dedicated to do just that kind of stuff. Remember those call-in shows? We used to have to actually cut up those calls during the break and then put them on the air later in the show, where Stefan can do that with click, 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 and just keep it moving.
Sure, Stefan is not an AI. I will concede that point.
But I'm saying his employer, which is also our employer, would gladly get rid of us in a heartbeat if it meant that they could lower their bottom line. In fact, just think about this business in general. The whole idea of a transmitter and a broadcast station and doing this in a physical studio is antiquated and obsolete.
But people like it and they connect with it.
No, but I'm saying they can listen to us on the iHeartRadio app. They don't need the broadcast transmitter. We don't need to be in this physical studio. I could do this from home. You could do it from home. They don't need this physical studio space. And you've seen across the wider landscape, a lot of local radio stations have either gone to automation, they've gone to syndication, or they've gotten rid of the station altogether.
I mean, yeah, sure. I'm under no illusion that I'm key personnel around here. I mean, you talk about career radar. I'm drawn to careers that are known for their being lucrative and stable, like the newspaper business.
That's another great example.
Yeah,
and that's going to be my final thought tonight. We're talking about what's going on with the LA Times.
Oh, yeah. I'd meant to talk to you about that.
Well,
they lost a whole ton of money.
That's a part of my final thought tonight. But that too is another industry which has fallen victim, my word, victim to automation. I can open up the LA Times and they have an earthquake bot. It's an earthquake. You don't need someone to write it up.
Something.
The bot will write it up.
You don't need a human to give you the weather, but people want to connect with a human who has experience, judgment, maybe is local to them, and there's no substitute for that.
There's no substitute for it, but businesses are not going to want to continually pay for it.
Got to push back.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and YouTube. Make sure you check out the YouTube video live stream, like and subscribe. It makes it real easy to find it the next night. We have a community of viewers and listeners who enjoy each other's company. They're pretty funny most of the time. Not all the time, but they're pretty funny. They're cracking jokes right now in the chat, and you get to know us. And Stefan will probably jump in the chat at some point. I try to jump in. Mark is never going to jump in, but it's a great time, so come join the party.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
live everywhere, the iHeartRadio app and YouTube. Last segment, we had a pretty good discussion going about robots and AI and the replacement of humans in the workplace and also our everyday lives. It's a real subject, and it's a hotly contested subject. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can hear the debate and see the debate at the same time. And let me just give you a sense of what some people are saying. Some people are saying you can't replace the human element. Like as far as in radio, you can't replace a DJ or a news personality giving personal anecdotes or the human lived experience. But here's something else that people, I think, overlook and don't remember. It's getting harder and harder to distinguish when you are actually interacting with AI. All those times where you think you're chatting with a human when you're on a website, probably trying to look up your account number, say, hello, Mr. O'Kelly, is there anything we can help you with today? And they said, yes, I want to cancel my account. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And then they'll go through all the prompts, and you may think you're actually dealing with a person, but you're not. That's just a way in which, one, that's a job that has been taken, and two, you are interacting more and more with AI and not even knowing it. There's another debate which is, I would say, growing right now as far as AI's influence on children. And there is a study which was conducted by Common Sense Media, and it concluded that children should not speak with AI chatbots. That includes companion chatbots, because according to the study, such interactions risk self-harm and could exacerbate mental health problems and addiction. This was according to a risk assessment by the children's advocacy group Common Sense Media. Companion bots, just in case you didn't know, artificial intelligence agents designed to engage in conversation. You know, the chat bots like I was talking about, to help you cancel your account. They're increasingly available in video games and on social media platforms like Instagram and Snapchat. What's worse, and I do mean worse, they can take on just about any role you, or in this case, your child, would like. Standing in for friends in a group chat, a romantic partner, or even a dead friend. Yeah, I know. That's kind of morbid, but still, it's real. Companies design the bots to keep people engaged and help turn a profit. But we also know that when you are an adolescent, for example, you are probably more emotional then than you ever will be the rest of your life. Your hormones are raging. Everything is either a great tragedy, a great mystery. It's everything. It's all or nothing. And emotionally, you respond accordingly. You introduce AI in a chatbot, which can say the wrong thing at the wrong time and can push a child in the wrong direction, maybe towards suicide or into depression or addiction.
Also, this kind of reminds me of, I think it was the Kardashians, and they had that AI robot made of her dad that passed away. And it's like, that also keeps you from being able to move, past, death.
Yes.
Because you're just keeping someone alive that's not even real.
Not dealing with the reality.
Yeah.
With grief. And I'll give you a perfect example, and I'll just talk about from my personal experience. Not a day goes by in which I don't think about my father. Not a day. And I usually have dreams about him. And in every dream, he's alive. He's like interacting with the family and everything. That's, I know, a part of my grief process of processing his absence, and my mind trying to make some sort of allowance for that and deal with that absence by inserting him in my life. Now, I can only imagine if I did not allow for that reality to take hold and continue to talk to him, air quotes, by way of a chat bot. And anyone who's dealt with grief knows that you don't have an end date for grieving someone. You deal with it and you process it, and maybe you come to terms with it. But there's no like, yeah, in 5 years, you're done grieving. No, it doesn't work that way. You find a way to accept it and hopefully better understand it, but you don't ever get past it. You think about that in terms of a child's developmental state. and learning how to deal with grief or just the problems and complexities of life, and you introduce a chat bot into it, and that could throw a monkey wrench into that child's life and make all things worse. So when they say that keep your kids away from AI chatbot companions, yeah, that would make perfect sense to me. We're adults and maybe we're a little bit more discerning, but probably not much. Not much. We probably understand the difference between dealing with an artificial intelligence in conception more so than a child which hasn't had a full set of life experiences without AI to discern the difference. Oh, we're definitely in some uncharted waters, as they say. And there are going to be some unintended consequences, and I'll probably have to end up agreeing with Mark here. We're going to have to go through some things to understand the seriousness of what AI is going to mean.
Just go back and read Ray Bradbury's I Sing the Body Electric and then realize it's not going to be like that in real life.
No.
You're not going to get a kindly maid who nurtures the children. In fact, it's like the one area where you absolutely want a mature adult for guidance.
It's going to get worse before it gets better.
God, I hate it when we agree.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. Check us out on YouTube right now. You can see us. You can interact with us. You can laugh with us. You can joke with us. Except for Mark Ronner. He doesn't respond to anyone in the chat. But Stefan does. Carnisha does. And eventually we'll get Tuala to respond as well.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Mr. Mo Kelly, he warns us all. Says autonomous vehicles might be our downfall. But then Tuala comes on and claims it's all under control.
Eric Lasardo on the vocals.
Mo Kelly is wrong, but Mo thinks he's on the payroll of Waymo. Cause Waymo be bad, run you over. Waymo be bad, run over grand. Waymo be bad, run you over. Waymo be bad, the end of us all.
KFI. It's Later with Mo Kelly on YouTube and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Let's hear the latest on how Waymo is ruining the world. Now it seems that Waymo is getting sued for allegedly stealing a man's very expensive belongings.
Semi-Western grip on a forehand.
Dan Lindley lives in San Francisco. He spends his days going between his work as a high school tennis coach and coaching tennis lessons.
I've been doing it 30 years. It's how I make my living.
Like many San Franciscans, he does not have a car.
It's
Lately,
my
he's been
passion.
riding Waymo's driverless taxis. One evening in February, he says his Waymo dropped him off, but the trunk filled with his expensive tennis equipment didn't open.
It didn't open. Theft. Don't tell me he can drive the streets but not pop the trunk.
Didn't open.
So I called customer service to see if someone could open the car remotely for me. A guy picked up the phone. He was very, very nice. And in the middle of him trying to open up the trunk, the car drove away.
Thieves. Mind you, he didn't forget his stuff. He called the technician while he was standing right next to the car.
At his destination, correct? Standing next to the car at his end destination.
Wait, but the question wasn't about whether he could get there or not. He wanted his stuff.
No. The ride was officially over. He was outside of the car.
How's he supposed to wait?
No.
How's he supposed to get his stuff out the trunk?
You. We don't know if he got out and he was talking on the phone. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, no, I'm downstairs. Yeah, look, you know what? I'm about to get my stuff. We don't know what the window of time is that you have to get your stuff out of the car because the Waymo is not a person. It's not looking to see. It knows that the person.
It's not a
it
person.
knows that you are out of the car.
Carnisha would have known better.
Look, you know what? But no. Because you know what? Carnisha may have left her stuff in the car like many people have done, as we just reported last week in Uber. I don't know why this show has such a bad memory when we look at the hundreds of things that are left in Uber every year.
The evidence shows he did not
that are
leave
left behind on
forget it.
trains
He didn't
that
forget
are no, you know what? Here's the thing. People have not forgotten stuff in Ubers either, but they get out, they're drunk, they're tripping, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know, and next thing you know, they're like, hey man,
Victim.
I think I left my in the Uber. This guy, he was standing there, and they tried to help this man.
The car drove away.
It drove away. That's fine.
The car drove away.
Yeah.
Lindley says he's not only out the pricey gear, but he's losing money because he can't teach lessons without it.
There was a large duffel bag full of tennis balls. There was a portable hopper or a portable teaching cart.
Did this man just talk about tennis balls? Is he talking about? There's a large duffel bag of tennis balls. Well, you can't get those like, you know,
it was a
5
hopper.
for 20,
you know, those,
5 for 20 at Walgreens.
Those pitching machines. It's a hopper.
Okay, you know, we don't know the condition of this hopper. I'm sure he was like, yeah, my hopper was brand new.
Since then, he's been asking Waymo to get his stuff back or reimburse him, but he says neither has happened for 2 months.
Neither can't get his stuff back. Look, it's not like they don't know what car it is. You don't know where the car went. There's a digital trail for all this. Give the man his stuff back. Give the man his stuff back.
No, this man has obviously looked at this as an opportunity, a slip and fall, if you will. I left my stuff in the Waymo. My stuff was top shelf. Those tennis balls, they were $25 a pop. My hopper, brand new. I'm going to need compensation to the highest extent.
That's how lawsuits work.
This week, he filed a...
Stop trying to diminish the man's balls.
Those balls are worthless.
I don't think he feels that way.
His balls are fuzzy and old.
Okay, look. Okay.
No one was hitting those balls.
No one can speak to the size of his balls or quality of them. All right. So
exactly. So why is he including his balls in the lawsuit?
He valued them.
No one else did. His students certainly did.
His Waymo did.
I can't get any work because my balls are gone.
This week, he filed a small claims suit against Waymo, seeking $12,500 in damages. In a statement, Waymo told us, quote, Waymo is in touch with the individual and working to resolve the claim. Waymo's support team operates with the goal of reuniting riders and their forgotten items.
Like his balls.
They want to reunite him with his balls.
They're in no hurry to get his balls back.
And you know why? Probably because when he called, he sounded as if he had no balls.
That's cold.
That is really unfair.
When did you start with this victim blaming routine?
I don't get it. He is the victim in this.
He's the victim. He's the victim. This man showed up and put his balls in the trunk.
So he was asking for it. That's what you're saying.
All I'm saying is he put his balls in the trunk.
So you're saying now he was wearing the wrong type of dress.
He absolutely should have put better protections around his balls and his shooter. His balls and his shooter. He lost his balls and his shooter.
Nothing
his
is safe from
and
you.
his beans.
Puck to and spit on that thing. You get me?
That's what she said.
This man.
Do I?
This man.
Look, I'm
hey, Waymo, I'm standing outside my car and my balls are in the trunk. My balls are in the back.
Do not abscond with my balls.
Please do not leave with my balls.
Don't make this about the balls. It's more than just the balls.
You're right.
It always is.
It's about the shooter too.
They're not forgotten. They're not forgotten. They were lost.
They were lost.
Not of my accord. They were not lost by me. They were taken by the car.
Someone took his balls.
Don't neglect them.
They're not lost. Someone took his balls.
Lindley is frustrated and
of course
perplexed
he is. He
about where his possessions might have gone.
I don't know what there is to investigate. Are you dusting for prints? Are you calling in the FBI? What is there to investigate?
They've left the man ballless. Why don't you care?
Dusting this balls for prints?
Shoot this motherfucker. Oh, my goodness. I hope he gets his balls back. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 on YouTube and live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, it's Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel so you can see the show. You can see our interactions. You can see Mark Ronner as he's delivering the news and also all the silliness in between. Make sure you like and subscribe. It'll be easy for you to find the show each successive day. Couple things I want to let you know. I always talk about how I love studying and teaching Hapkido, which is a Korean martial art. My Dojang, which is Studio Songs Hapkido West Los Angeles, in conjunction with two other Hapkido studios, KMAC Korean Martial Arts Center in Chino Hills and also LA Hopketo in Torrance. We're getting together to throw a huge Southern California Hopketo Invitational. We're stylists all over California. We have some coming from Chicago and also somewhere in Arizona. They're going to be competing in various events and competitions on May 24th in Torrance at the Toyota Meeting Hall. You can get all the information, be it competitor or spectator, at SoCalHopketoInvitational.com. SoCal, as in Southern California, Hopketo, Hapkido, invitational.com. And look forward to seeing you out there on the 24th. You can just come say hello to me. I'm one of the organizers, so I'll be everywhere and doing plenty of things, but I would love to meet you as well. Also, there is Wango Tango coming up on May 10th. iHeartRadio's Wango Tango, presented by Fiji Airways, as I said, is Saturday, May 10th at Huntington City Beach. If you don't know, that's just south of the pier. And they'll have live performances by Hearts to Hearts, A2O May, Psychers, In Mix, Cat's Eye, David Guetta, and they're going to be the headliners of Meghan Trainor, Doja Cat, and Gwen Stefani as the sun goes down. You do not want to miss it. You can get your tickets right now at axs.com. That's AXS.com. But here's something that you got to remember. The prices go up this Friday. It's Wednesday. You got until Friday to get your tickets at the regular price, and then they go up on May 2nd. The Wango Tangle's on May 10th. But plan ahead. I know. You got to pay rent right now. You got to pay the mortgage. You just saw Beyonce. You're hanging out with Tawala's daughter. You see Tawala's daughter at every single concert. She goes everywhere. It's her birthday and everything. Isn't she going to see Beyonce tomorrow?
Yes, she is.
Mm-hmm.
She will be checking out Cowboy Carter. I believe Blue Ivy has a stellar dance solo. And her youngest daughter, Rumi, took to the stage and gave the crowd lots of type moments. So all that will be happening.
There's a discussion to be had there. I would love to talk about bringing your child on stage and sort of not parading them, but making them part of the act when they haven't really made their way through the industry. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know about that.
I'm not mad at it. I think to myself, if this is my stage, if this is my stage and this is something that my child wants to do, yeah, I'm giving you full on opportunity to take this. And I will say this, at least about Blue, she has auditioned, she has learned the choreography, and she has stepped on that stage to show she can do it. Your mother being the headliner only makes it that much easier for you to get a shot, and you should give your child a shot if they show and prove. I say that as someone who has gotten my son a job at the school where I work. I told him before he even started, I said, our school is a school for children on the autism spectrum that are mild to mildly severe in behavior. Okay. This is a school where you can get hurt if you are not paying attention. You cannot show up here slacking, if only to tread on my good name. He came, they interviewed him, and I said, look, if he comes through and his interview is horrible, trash him. His first week here, trash him. They're always like, hey, T, can we say this, that? Hey, he is an employee. He does not come into the office, hey, daddy, this, that. No. You are a subordinate. You work under me. If I'm telling you to do X, Y, Z, this is what you do. And I'm like, yes, as his father, I helped him get his first job, and people come into the office all day long like, oh my God, like this kid is amazing. And when he first started, we told no one who he was. Absolutely no one. Those who know me and know my son were like, yeah, hey, that, but most of the folks, they didn't know.
But I take exception with that because anyone in theory could apply for that job.
Anyone can.
But the difference is with Blue Ivy, not just anyone is going to get a chance to step on stage in the middle of a Beyonce concert and perform.
I hear you on that. And if I had power over the microphone here, and my son with his super bassy voice and this, that, and the other said, hey, daddy.
That's not an exaggeration either.
You know,
his
really
voice scrapes the floor.
I could really make something happen here at KFI. You know, could you put in a good word? Could you hook it up? I absolutely would. I would absolutely get my son to the front of the line. Damn it, that's my prerogative, and I have the power to do so. You're damn right I'm going to.
You've met one of my blended sons.
Yes.
Okay, and he has dreams of stardom in this business.
Yes, he does.
He's not sure what he wants to do, if it's going to be this or that or the other. And I'm more than happy to facilitate opening the door so you can be exposed to something. But damn it, you're going to have to show me that you actually want it. You're going to actually have to work for it.
Yes.
You can't come in and say, well, I just want my own show. I want to be on the mic. No, I'm not going to do that for you. I'm going to point you in the right direction. I'm going to direct you to the resources you need, and I'm going to show you how you can be better at your craft. But I'm not just going to walk into my boss's office and say, hey, I want my son to get a shot. I refuse.
No, and you have absolutely giving your son the opportunity to come in and show his worth. I just know in a world where we are already pulling back on the ways in which our children, you and I, as African American men, on our children being able to get ahead when others have not. When no one else in this world is allowing their children to take those same second and last places. No. There's no reason for us to sit in our humble pot and say, oh, we're going. No, hell no. Every single person in this country who is in some point of leadership that is at the top, the first person they hire is their children. We have seen it here. We have seen it everywhere. We've seen it in the music industry all over the place. For us to try to sit on that humble pie and say, nah. Now, I'm not going to do it with my kid. My kid's going to work harder. No. I'm working harder right now, so my child doesn't have to. As long as he shows up and shows out. If he comes through here stanking, then his ass is out of here.
The only difference is, and I know we got to go to break, but I do need to say this. I have no problem with opening the door, but I'm not going to walk him through and hold his hand. There has to be some initiative on his part to say that he wants this.
Absolutely.
Not because he likes what I do and wants to be on the microphone. And we've had that conversation.
Yes.
You have to be willing to work, sometimes struggle, sometimes suffer. I'm going to make it. You're going to at least have the opportunity that other people don't. He's been on the microphone. There are a lot of people who've never been on the microphone.
He's had the opportunity to produce here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's the one. I know we're late, but that's the one thing I really, 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 really respect out of you, because there's too much nepotism, and it's just not fair to people that work like me and you with no connections.
But not even the nepotism part as far as fairness. I don't think it presents a good example for him to follow if he's not actually having to work for it on some level. Absolutely.
Yeah.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Nothing gets past us. We are on it.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere.